Hello, everybody in the chess world. We're gonna continue with my games from the internet, like the internet pandemic games. And we'll see two positions, let's say two exercises, but the whole positions. And today's theme will be, precision. You'll have to be precise to see, to find the correct answer. So in the first one, I'll show you how I was not precise at all. The second one, I was, but okay, there were a few lines in the way. So first position, this one right here, we have this ending. I had this ending and I was white. So, this was a blitz game. So I don't remember the increment, but let us say it was 2 or 3 seconds. So when we reached this position, I thought that, basically this probably will be a draw. But I saw that the situation on the center and on the queen side was, still dynamic. So first I played king f3. My opponent went king e7. We both got kind of a little bit closer to that sector. King c7, king e4. A little bit. I have to hold the passed e-pawn, so that's what a black's trump. Mine is that I have let's say a 4 against 3 on the other side, and my opponent went active a6. Okay, he's trying to go b5. This is quite logical. I play king d3 and b5. Finally, he threw the pawn. So I took it. And when he can recapture, I play king c3. King b6 now. And this will be the moment where I'll ask you, what will you play here? Because here we have basically two paths. One will be to go king b4. This will be the ambitious one, trying to win the game. You might think that that's not actually possible, but we'll see about that. The other will be b4. More like a drawish line, cutting this possible access for black's king, or even this one, and kind of more going for a draw. Okay, so I'll ask you to choose between one of those moves. So pause the video and think. Okay, the best choice was unfortunately the most boring one. b4 was the right move, just going for a draw. And let us say, I don't know, king a6, king d3, king. I mean, they should be draw. So I played a king b4, and I was being ambitious because I saw something in one particular line in which I thought that I might win. So, my opponent obviously played e4. This is what you had to calculate in this particular line. And this was the move that I had foreseen, like a3, just waiting. I was trying to be clever. I thought, this waiting move, I think I might be winning. I have winning chances. So e3 is the only move now, and forcing my king to go catch that pawn. Of course, if my opponent were to play, I don't know, king a6, king c3, I'm already in time to, go get this pawn, and then I'll just have this 2 against 1 in here, and obviously winning. So, of course, my opponent, even in a blitz game, he saw the same, and he played e3, which is also the only move. So, and now king c3. So, really, I was like, okay, I might go catch that pawn. And, my opponent played the most obvious move, king c5. And after king d3, you can see the result, right, that takes, and king c5, king d3 back. So he cannot pass, he can never pass. And after d5, a4. Now I have the faraway pawn, and he took the pawn, and I recapture, and I just easily won this game. However, again, unfortunately, going back, as I said, in this position, b4 boring draw was the correct move. There was a flaw in my calculation. King b4, e3, we said a3, e3, king c3. King c5 was double question mark. Losing the game instead of winning it. So, since king c5 is not the right move, I won't ask you to pause the video and think, because now there is only basically one alternative. I mean, I hope you're not looking at e2, because that's ridiculous. But b4, not king c5. b4 exclam is immediately winning. And this is a really beautiful move. I think this is something that I had not seen normally in king and pawn endgames. I mean, this is really beautiful, because obviously I cannot take the pawn with my king, because otherwise this e-pawn will, reach the queening square, the promoting square. But it's such a complete move, because it is a check, and I have to take it. Otherwise, black will take it and have two pass pawns and win. And what does this create is just a entrance path, for my opponent's king. And even seeing that, you'll probably think, as I thought while I was initially analyzing with the engine, well, but isn't that a draw as well? Well, no. I mean, the opposition thing the shouldering thing will be in favor of blacks, because, king b5, I have to go catch the pawn, takes, and after king d3, well, yeah, it looks like I'm shouldering black's king, but no. King there, and when I shoulder back, well, just there. I don't have the d5 square to keep shouldering black's king, so king e4, king c5, and this was winning for black. So I don't know. If you have seen the rest of my videos, you probably seen in those internet games how many flawed victories I've had. Like I constantly win the game because I played the most aggressive move that it was flawed. It was flawed. There was a problem. Not easy to see, but still there, which would have given the victory for my opponent. So, okay, normally in a more serious game against stronger opponents, they won't forgive you. They won't forgive me that probably see the right move and punish me. Of course, this maybe is not such case because it was a blitz game, so it's understandable for both of us not to see that before check. But really, to me, there was some beauty in that. That was before I was. It's just, again, so precise. It is check. My king cannot take because I have to catch the e-pawn. I have to take it because otherwise I have the two pawns and I won't be able to catch both with the king. And this creates this access for his king, which just right on time to shoulder my king. Quite pretty. I was quite impressed by this when I saw it with the engine. I was like, whoa, damn, what is such unforgivable bastard sometimes chess is, right? Okay, so let's go to the second example, which will be a little bit more normal. Okay, as I did last time, for this second example, I'll show you also the opening. This is quite like a mirror thing regarding the other video. I'll leave the link on the description. But I was white and I played my classical, queen's pawn opening. In this case, it's the queen's gambit. So this is the rejected, the decline, actually, queen's gambit. And we went into this line. Now d takes e4, b takes e4. This is all quite known. I'll pass the opening moves quite quickly because I want to reach a specific position. So a6 going for b5, a4 preventing it. Queen c7, well, now b3, I protect my bishop on c4, and mainly I want to play bishop b2. My opponent did the same, bishop b2, bishop b7, rook ac1, and I don't know, rook ac1 looks like a bad move, right? Because my opponent reacted well. He played c takes d4. It looks brave, right? Or almost maybe too brave, because now this file opens and there are X-rays from my rook to his queen. But well, maybe I could have recaptured here with the knight. I don't know, because as soon as I took with the pawn, just to keep my central pawn and keep a hole in these squares, queen f4 came, and I was like, this is classical, so this is classical. A queen, so that c takes e4. Okay, the queen gains access to f4 now. Well, at least they're intending to, maybe giving up the pair of bishops, but two double pawns on the f3 square, f2 and f3 squares. So I play knight on e5, but I realized that any possible advantage here for me was gone. I was quite surprised that my opponent here played the move that I was luring him to play. I mean, I really expected, but knight takes e5. I think d takes e5. Well, he will just play knight g4 and continue the attack. So I was planning just to go queen takes e5, and after bishop on d6. I don't know. Again, okay, I can put the danger away and not having to double pawns on the f3 square. But I don't know, this position. Yeah, I mean, this is either equal or I'll prefer black slightly. I mean, this was a total success for my opponent. However, this didn't happen. Incredibly, in this position after knight on e5, he played the awful queen 64, which is losing immediately, and I'm sure most of you will see why. This is a classical tactic that happens a lot in the Queen's Indian. So first moves, I'll pass them quite quickly. I mean, as probably you already saw, this is classical shot, knight on d5, you know, just since this bishop is open and is threatening the queen, while at the same time my knight is threatening this bishop on e7. Really a lot of Queen's Indians like this, but there are a lot of positions where black actually can allow this, because they always have this queen c5 resource, so saving the queen and protecting the bishop. They have gained like the central pawns and my central d pawn, so even if I manage to, let's say, double pawns on the f6 square, there are a lot of times there's a compensation, you know, classical from Queen's Indian. So like, well, in fact, the game followed knight takes f6 check, knight takes f6, and the problem was this. Yeah, of course, this is a thing. The difference between this position and those classical Queen's Indians, normally white doesn't have yet a rook on c1. So now, I mean, this is so simple. I'm just hitting the queen. And the thing is, this is 100% winning, but I want to reach a specific position where you'll have to be precise. I had to be precise and calculate a lot before saying, okay, this is winning just easily. So first of all, my opponent played queen b4. I had already seen that, well, queen d6. I mean, of course, I always have this knight takes f7. And after rook takes f7, I can start by rook fd1. So, I mean, this will be too strong. But a slightly better reply by my opponent was this queen on b4. Still not enough, but okay, knight takes f7 came anyway. Rook takes f7. And this is the moment where I actually had to calculate quite I don't know how long, but probably at least between 5 and 10 minutes. Remember, I usually play 30 minutes plus 15 seconds on the internet. So actually, I'll pass the thing to you. So pause the video and think. Well, the first thing that you had to see is what I had calculated, that the most natural move seems to be rook c7. Because this is total invasion, I'm hitting this bishop, I'm glancing at this bishop here, you know, the 7th rank has weaknesses all over, but I immediately saw that this doesn't work, and black saves himself like just in time. Bishop d5 will be the defensive resource, and well, you might think, well, but we have this intermediate bishop takes on f6. And now they can't take, I don't know, they can't take like this because, I don't know, everything is hanging. They can't take with the bishop because we'll take on f7. But I saw that bishop takes e6 is, well, black also replies with an intermediate move. And, well, I don't know, like queen takes e6, g takes f6. I don't know, this at least there is, you know, I mean, this therapy is up for the moment, in spite of the attack. And, well, this really seems like salvation for black. So let us go back. So here, that is why rook c7 shouldn't be the most precise move. Now, the alternative is quite obvious. Let's be precise and play bishop takes on f6 first. This is what I played, and I'm sure a lot of you saw this move. But again, we have to, you know, we had to see a few details. So my opponent played a bishop takes f6. In case of g takes f6, there are a lot of winning moves here, but I think that the simplest and what I saw was simply queen h5, you know, just going for, because I mean it's such a difficult task to defend that f7 square. And after rook a f8, which will be like, let's say, the logical move, well, rook c4 is hitting the queen, and we're also sneaking up on g4, and that should be over. Queen a5, last thing that you had to calculate, because, well, they're at least trying to exchange queens. But first the check, and after king h8, well, let us just take a clean rook, because now, well, also our bishop is protecting the queen, so we don't care if they exchange queens to end up the attack or the immediate attack, because, well, we're still an exchange and a pawn up, so it's over. So going back to after bishop on f6, my opponent took with the bishop, and only now rook c7. You see the difference, because we've included this bishop takes on f6. Now rook c7 is a double attack, and there is no bishop d5, because there is any longer there is no knight on f6 protecting. So okay, Okay, this is already resignable. I was expecting, but rook af8. I was just gonna take the bishop, so just recover the material and assuring at least winning an exchange on f7. So total advantage. I guess my opponent thought that was too sad. He played king on h8, so the game continued. Bishop takes on f7, queen e4. I just exchanged queens, and after rook e1, he went bishop on d3. Now rook e c1, and he played bishop on f5. Just he saw that of course this is a threat. This is what happened before, and going back, bishop d3. Bishop on f5. Well, just h3, and here my opponent resigned. I mean, h3 is not so much about giving air for my king. I actually pretend, I'm intending to play g4, which will, this bishop won't be able to hold the c8 square anymore. So, it'll be either a mate or I'll exchange queens and have a really simple ending to win. So, okay, just. As I said on the beginning, these two exercises were just about precision. I guess the first one was the prettiest one. The second, if you play d4 in the first move, you'll face queens Indians and queens Gambit decline a lot of times. So these tactics will appear quite often, so it'll be useful for that. So, Citronetta will ask you, as usual, to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you all on the next video. So, thanks a lot, and bye-bye.